All right, looks like we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever and wherever you may be watching this. I want to thank Pastor Dow for that intro. And in today's, all right, from Arkansas, good morning, Night Collector. Brother, thanks again for that wonderful, amazing gift. And I wanted to show you something. I've already, I've already implemented. When you described to me what that was, I was like, oh yes, that's amazing right there. I can see how I can take this off, um, and in a situation, I am going to be ready to roll with some keys in one hand and this thing right here. I can do some protecting. So thank you. I actually at first I put it through the holes, but the tool is so thick that it wouldn't move around, which would give me some more stability on the key ring. But I chose to go that route right there. So thanks again. I really appreciate that. That's amazing. Let's see here. Tara's here from Georgia. Good morning, Tara. Tara, I just got your doodle. Oh my goodness. That was so cartoony like. So thank you for sending that to me. And don't be surprised if you see it somewhere else later. Do not be surprised. Okay. All right. So I hope y'all got your homework done. Hope you got your homework done. And normally, let me tell you guys what I normally do. Normally, when I assign a project like this, normally I will watch it on Monday, on Tuesday, and then again maybe on Thursday, and then twice on Saturday morning, because I really want to get the episode to the point where I got it, pretty much in my memory. This week, I watched it one time. I think I watched it on Sunday, and then I watched it again yesterday, and I've been watching this morning. So I didn't watch it. I didn't watch this episode as many times as I normally do, like I did the first episode. So anyway, we'll still have a good discussion, I'm sure. All right, so let's recap from last week. The Colony Season 1, Episode 1. All right. So we met our characters in the colony. We started with Mike the handyman, John C. the IBM engineer, Morgan, 23-year-old engineer, John B. He was machinist. I call him a religious fanatic. George was the doctor. Allison was the ER nurse. She's the blonde. Vladimir, he's an engineer. And then he self-proclaimed fisherman hunter. Joey was the contractor and the ex-convict. Leilani was the martial art. I don't think she introduced herself as a martial art expert. I think she came across as a fitness trainer, but then again, we don't get the full story because of editing. Y'all keep remembering that, okay? And then we had Amy, who was the marine biologist. And in both episodes, you see Amy less than you see anybody. All right. Amy, Leilani, George, and Allison are on the back. They're in the background right now. The people that have been major players in the forefront have been Mike, John C., the IBM engineer, Morgan, John V., the machinist, and what's the other guy? Vladimir. Okay, you've been seeing a lot of Vladimir in the first two episodes. So they get started with season 1, episode 1. They went through sleep deprivation. Then they had 15 minutes of looting. They sent the Marauders in, which I'm gonna bring a point to this week about those Marauders, and I really want to know what you guys think about. Then they had, the Marauders came in and stole some stuff from them. Then they had an 8-mile walk down the river, and this is a 10-week program. They found the sanctuary, which was an 80,000 square foot warehouse on a 3-acre plot of land. They got really excited about being able to flush the toilet, and I told you guys, if you're in that situation, instead of pouring 5 gallons down the front, put 1.5 gallons in the back of the toilet. It should work the same. Let's see, food and water. All right, so when we first initially meet them, it was 6 of them, and then we took on 4 more people. So when they took on the 4 more people, the food and water changed due to the new arrivals. All right, and then okay, I broke down who what the guys looked like. All right, so in season 1, episode 1, we got days 1 through 4 where it was just getting like basic stuff. They had 4 to 6 days of power, they had 9 days of food, and 1 day of water. Their accomplishments. The accomplishments. Good morning, Michaela. I got your. Oh, really? You have to use the YouTube app. Okay. That's interesting. You can't see us on YouTube itself. Let me check. Normally I do a check. Let me go and check real quick, because normally I would do that just to make sure we're live and you guys can hear me okay and all that good stuff. And I didn't do it today, and I didn't ask you guys how I sounded. I just jumped right in. How do I sound? Am I even live? I'm pretty sure I am, since you guys have not said, hey, we can't hear you. I'm pretty sure about it, but I will check anyway, and I will bounce back and forth. Oh, you know what, Michaela? I was going to do a video about it, but we can, since I got the pictures pulled up on another page, we can actually show those pictures to the group today. So remind me before we get off to show those pictures to the group to see if we know what we're dealing with. Oh, wow, it's just spinning. Am I not live? Okay, there we go. All right, see if we know. Wow. Okay, y'all remember, make sure you give me a like, please. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you can get to YouTube Live, but you don't have chat access unless you do it from your phone. Wow, that's interesting and incredible. And you know what? I'm gonna do a screen share real quick, guys, because I want to show you. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm not. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna show you guys some pictures that Michaela sent me, and hopefully we can help her figure out what it is she has in. Oh, Michaela, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put up your email address like that. So let me make this big. I'm only trying to help here. I apologize, Michaela. All right. So does anybody recognize what this is? Anybody know what this is right here? Okay. And then we'll pull up another picture. All right. So here's the part that comes off it right here. It looks like a fire striker to me, a starter. It looks like maybe you can take this little dude here. Can you guys even see? Okay, yeah, y'all can see. All right, it looks like you may take this right here and then strike it against this, and because it has this fabric here, it may catch, and then you can light stuff. So that's just me talking. I had never seen that before, so you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you know. Don't let me know what you think. Let me know what you know. Okay, so my collector says yes. Have a few somewhere. Have a few. Oh, it's a wick. Okay, that's what I figured it was. I figured it was a wick. How does it work, Night Collector? And the other one I already told you, Makita, that's a multi-tool. I used to carry one around in my wallet all the time, but then I just started carrying this was easier for me to carry. So I just started carrying this kind instead, because it hooks onto my belt, and I use this every day for my job, and then in normal everyday life I take it. Matter of fact, I just used it a while ago. I'm also on call this week, and I'm actually on call for probably the next month. So before we even went live, I had to go to work this morning and go let somebody in and out of their house because the deadbolt had broken. And of course, it broke in the locked position. So anyway, that's just the story of my life and the way things roll. All right, stop sharing. There we go. All right, so back to season 1, episode 1. Their accomplishments of that week: they found shelter. They didn't have to worry about the air quality. The air quality was fine. They figured out water filtration, which I thought was amazing. They figured out sleeping quarters, and I shot holes in that because I thought they were sleeping far too far away from where their entrances and exits were. They found they got a working toilet, which they should have gotten several working toilets because they had a whole bunch of them. They figured out emergency lighting, but that was going to run out because they had a limited source of battery power. They figured out meals, and on day 4 they actually had coffee. So the one thing that I felt like they could have done a lot better with was security, but none of them really had a strong background in security, except maybe Vladimir and Joey, which was the ex-convict, and everybody else was just kind of winging it, I think. Which leads us into this week. Before I get started on on what I came up with as an assessment, I have one of those too. Excuse me. Thank you, Michaela. It sparks on the flint and lights. It has fuel inside the lighter, which soaks the wick. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. You got that, Michaela? So apparently you can take that, strike it, and because it has fuel in it, it was it's a fire starter. So it's exactly what I thought it was, which was a fire starter of some kind. And cool. All right. And I actually have it running in the background on my phone, just so I can kind of monitor. There are certain things in this week. Just lighter fluid. Okay, cool. All right. So use it outside. I wouldn't do it inside if I were you, unless you was. Now I test a lot of my stuff inside, but I use like aluminum foil. I put aluminum foil around the floor just in case I have some kind of accident. And I have plenty of fire extinguishers, okay, which is a good prep. Several good prep items that you could and should have. Because if you ever get a fire inside your house, you want to be able to tackle it as soon as possible. And those little bitty ones like that, I probably got 10, 15 of those. And I'm going to up my preps and get one that's kind of like that size over there. Y'all see that in the corner? I'm looking at getting 3 or 4 of those. Y'all hold on a second. Looks like we're going to have an intruder again. Hey, man.
What's going on, Doc? Yeah, I told her I took care of.
Okay, yeah.
That should be in your next paycheck.
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't excited to do it.
Really? He don't get that.
Right. I got Dick Brown on the phone and he had to tell him.
People so messy.
You did extra work and stuff.
Right.
But she wasn't going to pay you the $200 concert, but she didn't want to give you the 50s for the.
Right, that's what I normally make, but like I told him, I was like, I had to do a whole bunch of extra. Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I got him on the phone with her and stuff, and he said, yeah, and took care of that. So.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So they get to start over there at 11, right?
1.
Okay.
That's what I said Alicia can do, because the only thing they want is a microphone, and they got PowerPoint that they want to look at while they eat.
Okay.
And they're not eating that too, so she can do that.
Okay, all right. Well, I can move into the chair thing set up.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep. Well, yeah, and I told Alicia about your going on meetings. You want her to do it, she said she'll do it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, everything's good.
All right, cool.
Next weekend, I don't think we got anything.
I hope not. That's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, Thanksgiving weekend, we don't have anything. Get this out of the way today, and we done. Until the gala. Yeah, I'm on 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Leave heels first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Walking on the tiptoes.
Yeah, they hurt. Yeah. All right, well, I appreciate it.
I'm supposed to be in the boot behind.
You don't want to wear a boot?
Mess my back up. So my back out of line with this stuff. The boot in the car.
Right. It's riding around. It should be on your face. Okay, I appreciate that.
All right. I'll see you later.
Okay. All right. Bye. Y'all, I apologize. I am at work. So, yeah, it's amazingly funny how things work. All right, so let me see here. Yes, lighter fluid. Some say the fluid evaporates, so make sure the screw cap is tight. That makes sense. Right about the fire extinguishers. Thank you. Going to go make. I don't know why I always start reading over here, and I should put it on the screen. Go make coffee real quick. Well, you better make it while you can. What's up, Kev H, man? Been missing you, brother. Been missing you. Where you been? Miss ya. All right, so season 1, episode 2. I wanted to get you guys' take on before I started, because I know when I start talking, it's going to trigger something that you think about. I want you guys, before I even start talking about season 1, episode 2, I want to get you guys' take on whatever you got out of that season 1, episode 2. Whatever you took from it, whatever you learned from it, whatever you, cause see, I got a whole sheet of notes right here. And before I even get started, I want to hear you guys' thoughts first. So while I'm talking about what that conversation was, I want you guys to start texting or typing in what you took from season 1, episode 2. So that's a guy that I work with up here, and he came in and let me know that they were actually going to pay me for what they should have paid before this last pay period, and that he had to fight for the money that they owed me, which is so funny to me because it's like always a fight. Let me see how much delay do I have, because y'all should be typing by now. Let's see here. Oh shoot, what we're dealing with. Oh wow, it's just spinning. Oh, am I not live? Okay, there we go. Because it's like always a fight. Let me see how much. So it's about 30-second delay looks like. Let's see here. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. What do we have? What up, Prepper family? Even good people. You know what? That is Knife Collector. That is a great point, and I have that point down here. And just so you guys know, I put it on the scavenge and run, dealing with marauders. Because we're gonna talk about that. Dealing with marauders. Oh yeah, man. Okay, so Kev H, I know you're coming in late. You like 3 weeks late, bro. Definitely too, because this is our second Saturday where we're running this this episode. Where on Saturday mornings at this time, whatever time I think is you in Arizona, right? We are talking about season 1 of The Colony. And every week we are taking an episode and we're watching it throughout the week, along with all the other YouTube we're doing. But we're watching one episode a week, and then Saturday morning we'll come in and talk about it, and I'm giving you guys a test. So yeah, go back and watch it. So you're gonna be 3 episodes behind. You gotta catch up on season 1, episode 1, 2, and 3. All right, need to watch it too. Yeah, Michaela, you gotta watch it. All right, so looks like Knife Collector is the only one that chimed in. So since you chimed in on that one first, Knife Collector, let's talk about that, because I wanted to talk about that scavenge run. And the reason they even went on the scavenge run, I really believe, now that I've watched it and I'm editing things myself, I'm really believing that the producers of the show are controlling more than we see in the show. Because they had, at that point when they went out and they decided to go do this scavenge run, they had like 9 days of food, or was it 9 days of water? Anyway, they had a bunch of food, a ton of water. They, in my opinion, they really didn't need to go out right then. Okay, in my opinion. Now, I'm not living their lives. I'm not in the show. But from my opinion, I didn't think they needed to leave right then. Now, you got to understand, this is a simulation of a post-apocalyptic world. 90% of the people have been killed or died. I mentioned earlier, I agree with the security. Yeah, I saw that, Tara, and I meant to mention something. And that goes back to a part of the security, which is going to bring me to another point. Okay, yes, right. You're in Vegas. I apologize, KBH. You got the limo company, don't you? If memory serves me correct, I'm dealing with personalities here. So I remember Vegas and vaguely remember something dealing with a limo company. I think. I don't know. But I know you prepping like crazy. I know last time you came in, you said you were upping your preps to $60 a week. So how's that going for you? I was shocked that they were talking. Yeah, okay. That Tara, you nailed it on the head. Because listen, in this episode, this is day 4 through day 8, and that's why I think the producers of the show are really influencing these people. And I wrote that part down because I was gonna make that point. Okay. Notice how all of a sudden they started talking about leaving their location, thoughts. And I wanted to talk about that because you have this huge sanctuary. All you need to do is just lock it down like Fort Knox, in my opinion. You might say you are the people you defend against. You just find a more way to defend your actions. That's true. All right, so let's go back to Knife Collector's original point. And I was talking about on the scavenge run, dealing with marauders. Because think about it. They're calling people on the outside marauders who are trying to survive, who are going to steal and going to loot. But isn't that exactly what they left to go do? They went out, they left their sanctuary to go out and steal and loot. As a matter of fact, they stole 2 goats, some food, and I don't know what. Can somebody please tell me what John C. was thinking when he picked up these dirty towels and clothes? Would that have been something that you would have? He said, "I'm a trash man." I don't know why I was thinking you. Why was I thinking you had a limo company? Okay, well, hey, one man trash and another man treasure, right? I bet you see a whole bunch of stuff that people throw away that you could use as preps. I can only imagine. I scavenge a lot too because I'm in people's houses all the time, and I see stuff that they a lot of people just give me stuff, and I'm like, okay. The only thing I would personally venture out for would be seeds and gardening equipment because they have containers and plenty of sunlight. True, I agree with that, Tara. Some people have had the mindset that everything is useful in these situations like that. Yeah, and in my opinion, everything is not useful. And that's where, that. And another thing, remember, yeah, they could be, but do you really want to use old dirty clothes as bandages? I mean, that's a great point. Bandages, rags, and burning, but they had plenty of material. And another thing that I kept noticing and watching them, why were they using the torches to start fires? Can somebody explain that to me? Why were they constantly using torches to start fires? Did anybody else pick up on that and notice that? They're working with a parameter. In a real world, they would. That's true. They would have many stores of loot and would not take rest. Yeah, because they even said that they could only go and venture out certain places. And did you guys notice how when they came up on that camp and the guys came back, did y'all notice how real the volunteers made that situation? Did y'all notice how real they got it? They're in that situation, and for them that is life. Now for the marauders, quote unquote, the marauders, because see, me personally, I looked at it a little bit different this time. I said, you know what, the volunteers are really the marauders. They went and found a sanctuary and they broke in and they took it over. Right? Is that not being a marauder? And then they went out, and I'm looking at it now. They're at these people's camp. Now, obviously, it's a camp. Okay, and you got a tent set up. You got goats around there. That's somebody's living space. And they took like it was no problem. And then Joey was like, "Get what you got and get on back." He was the only one that made any sense because these other guys was ready to fight. And I'm like, what if you go around that corner and you see 30 people? You got to constantly, in this scenario, you got to constantly be thinking about Rick Grimes' wife. I don't know. She's not on this show. This is a show about volunteers. There are no movie stars in it. These are all just regular everyday life people. Okay. I think they were using it to give their hands a little distance. Yeah, I know why they were doing it. I just didn't understand why they kept doing it. Because it's so easy with everything around here, like those clothes and stuff, the things you're not using. Won't you do some kindling, put some fabric or whatever underneath it, and then start the fire that way? I just kept seeing them using these torches, which was killing me. That show with Grant? No, sir. I don't believe she's on this show. Yes, the one guy even threatened them with injury, even though he had a slingshot. Right? He was like, "Put it down, I'm gonna shoot you." Yeah, that was Vladimir. He was chasing those guys down, and eventually they dropped it, whatever they had gotten. But I just found it amazing that you guys are out stealing, and then these guys come back to take their stuff back from you, and you're threatening them. I just found that to be amazing as far as the human psyche and how quickly they turned that situation. That marauder that came back on the bike, I would have wanted to take that bike. Yeah, you try to take something from me, I'm going to take something from you. But think about it. Put yourself on in the with the guy who's riding a bike. You just broke into his camp. And then again, we don't even know if that's the same camp. But in that scenario, from editing, it looked like they had come across that camp, and it seemed and appeared that they were taking from those guys. So if that was you and if that was your camp, what would you do to defend your camp? Now, first of all, I'm going to have way more defenses than just a tent. And all my stuff is going to be within a perimeter and an area that I can patrol it and watch it. And I'm not going to leave my tent and my supplies, unattended, because if it's just two of us, somebody's going to stay there at all times. And I apologize that, the other person got to go off on their own, but I'm not going to leave all my supplies unattended. All right. So, all right. Michaela says scavenger, marauders, looters, and explorers are different. Why do you say that? Yes, I see stuff all the time in the trash. 2 weeks ago, I saw somebody throw out a 2 to 5 year, 2 to 5 years of long-term storage food. Oh my God. Are you freaking serious? That's crazy. I want to take it, but they didn't answer the door. We can take anything from the root unless. Oh, you can't take. You can or can't. You can or can't take anything from the root unless. Okay, so you can't take anything from the root unless you get permission from the customer. So you had to pick it up and just throw it out. Oh my God, that's insane. Haha. Found antique furniture in the trash. I mean, you can find a whole bunch of stuff from people, from people throwing stuff out. Yeah, I would want to take that as well. 2 to 5 years worth of food. Oh my God. All right, so I'm glad that Knife Collector brought up that, because I just wanted to now before they went out, did y'all notice the part where John C., the IBM engineer, he's like, oh yeah, when we go out, I want you to do this and I want you to do that. And then Vladimir cut him off. He's like, hey, have you ever been in a fight? He's like, yeah. He's like, have you ever been in a life or death fight? Have you ever been in that situation? He's like, well, no. And Vladimir was like, I have. And I've seen many people die. And when you go out here, you got to be wilder than the wildest. And I thought that was great advice. So if you're going to go out in this situation where you have limited supplies, limited capabilities or whatever, and you're going to go out and you're going to loot, or you're going to be the marauder, or you're going to go out and try to find stuff, then guess what? You got to do it all. You got to do it all in. You cannot be messing around. All right. Because if you mess around, you're going to get hurt. And if you come across somebody's camp, what are you willing to do to take from them? What are you willing to do? Are you just willing? Because remember, whatever you do out there, you're creating enemies. You're not creating friends. So, I just wanted to bring that point across. All right, so let's talk about the next item. The first item I have written down, which was power. And in this power struggle, we saw Morgan and Mike have a conflict crash, or a clash of character, or whatever. So, how many of you guys honestly knew about the gasifier? How many honestly knew how to make one? And how many honestly knew that you could even turn an engine into a gasifier? And I'm going to be honest with you. When I first watched this, like 6-7 years ago, whenever it first came out, I had no idea about a gasifier. So how many of you guys actually knew about that prior to watching the show? Okay. In real life, once you have to eliminate someone out to survive, it will get easier. And the more you will justify, yes, true, till you become heartless and cold-blooded. That is so true, Knife Collector. That's a true statement. Yes, sir. I'm extremely regard for human life and very tender heart, but I have no qualms taking life if it threatens mine or my family. Okay, great point. Went into the state of depression as I tossed it out. I bet you did, Kev H. I would have gone to a state of depression too. I would not be able to take from someone who wasn't threatening me, though. Yeah, it would have been really hard for me to walk up on, even though I know I'm in a situation, a scenario. It would have been really hard, and I'm sure the moral compass of most people in that group were like, hey, this is somebody else's stuff. We can't take from them. And I'm pretty sure the producers of the show, because remember, you got cameras all around them. I'm pretty sure the producers were like, you guys have to do this. You know, look, because I've seen this probably, oh God, 5, 7, 8 times. So looking at it now from a perspective of not really trying to learn the preps and not really trying to figure out what I would do, I'm looking at it more from a producer standpoint, because that's the mode I'm in now. I'm producing video. So I'm looking for more from editing and the production value of the show. And I think and believe that a lot of the things that these folks are doing, like talking about leaving the sanctuary, you know, Tara brought that point out earlier. Why would you, this is this day 8. Why would you even think you got 10, you got 10 weeks to be here? Why would you even think about, why would that even be a thought that crossed your mind as far as leaving the safe haven that you've created? Why? Unless it was editing. I'd heard of one, but I wouldn't have known how to make one. Yeah, I had never even heard of it. Well, I can't say I hadn't heard of it. I knew that you could run. I knew you could do it. I didn't have a clue of how to do it. And I thought it was amazing how those folks got together. And brings me to my next point. Did you guys notice how Mike seems to be so inferior to everyone else, even though he is like the MVP of the group? Have y'all noticed that? And it just goes to show you that when people have internal struggles with themselves, that has nothing to do with you, you know. And he even got to the point where Morgan was in his case about even standing to watch. He's like, oh well, I'll just take the long watch always. But from 9:30 to 12 midnight, that's when everybody's starting to wind down anyway. That's not and I've been in the military. I've been on watch. The hardest watch for me was always like 4 to 6, and we used to stand 4-hour watches. It was like 8 to 12, 12 to 4. Those 12 to 4s and those 4 to 6s, they're rough. Or even when you're doing 2-hour watches, that midnight to 2 and that 2 to 4, oh, that 2 to 4 is a killer. Okay, so he really was taking the easier of the watches, and in my opinion. I told you guys this last week. I really believe as big as their group was and large as their group was, they should have had somebody on watch 24/7. All right, that's number one. And up on the roof, just watching a sentry. And then at nighttime, they should have had 2 people on watch. One watching this part of the building, the other one watching this part of the building. And that way it would have given more camaraderie. In my opinion, it would have given them more camaraderie, and you could have put those personalities that clash together on watch together, and then you rove around, and then every 15 minutes you make your rounds, and then you come back and you talk for 5, and then every 15 minutes you go walk around for 15 minutes and you come back and talk, and that builds camaraderie. Plus, it makes the watch go by faster. That's the way I would have done it. All right. If I had been in charge, which remember they didn't have anybody in charge, and after we've gotten in 2 episodes now, because Karen brought this point out when we first started doing this, whom would you, if you had to choose a leader right now, what person would you choose as the leader of this entire group? And then I'm gonna go through and read some messages. I said my comment was too long. Wait a minute. It said my comment was too long. What comment, Tara? Michaela? Talking about the scavengers, marauders, looters, and explorers are different. What comment are you referring to? All right, so Tara says, I think they are spending too much energy trying to generate power. I think they should use daylight when they have it and rest at night to conserve energy. Okay, that's a great point, because it even comes up that about toilet paper and soap and all that kind of things that you need daily. And I agree with you, Tara. I thought they spent way too much time trying to figure out power when they could have been doing other things. I totally agree with you. But let me ask you guys this. In this situation, which one is more important? Toilet paper and soap or having power? Because Mike brought out a good point. He was like, we're trying to get this power thing done, which y'all said y'all wanted and it was important. And then, look, as he calls it, Little Miss Morgan was like, I'd rather have toilet paper than to have, he didn't say power, he said electricity. So in that case, which one is more important to you? Because I'm gonna tell you, in this scenario, I'd rather have a creature comfort of toilet paper and soap than to have power. Now that's just me, because you got plenty of daylight, like Tara just said. You got plenty of daylight. All right. You know what? It's on YouTube, and let me post it so you'll have it. Okay. Let me post, and we do this every Saturday, Kev H. So let me just find it for you real quick. The Colin. Season 1. We're doing season 1, and right now you're gonna be 3 episodes behind. So this week you're going to catch up on the first 3 episodes. And I'm asking everybody not to go ahead, because I want to have a good discussion about that week's episode. Because if you move forward, then like some of us are done, because some of us went in and binge watched it. I don't know if you'll be able to grab this or not, but it'll give you a good reference. No, it's on Netflix, brother. He says it on Prime or Netflix. It's on Netflix. I mean, it's on YouTube. I keep saying it's on YouTube. YouTube. Yes, good job, Tara. Thank you. I did, but I did not think the gasifier would work. They were looking at propane bottles, and with propane, you need a different carburetor to make it work. Okay. Mike is super useful, but he's abrasive. Yeah, that's what I said last week. And somebody was like, no, he's not abrasive. Yes, he's very abrasive, because he has this I'm inferior to everybody, but the dude is such a valuable asset to this group. And in this situation, I'm gonna tell you guys, in this situation right here, I'd rather have a Mike than a doc than what's my guy name? Dang, what is the guy's name? He's the doctor. George. I'd rather have a Mike. I'd rather have one Mike than to have 5 Georges. What are y'all's opinion about it? Or let's say somebody else. Allison, she's an ER nurse. John B, he's machinist. Vladimir. If you had to choose somebody, if you was gonna start a survival group out of everybody in this scenario, which would be the one person you would take? I can think of 2 right off the bat that I would love to have, and that's Mike and John C, which is the IBM guy. His thinking is just off the chart. The way he sees things, the way he comes up with, and you're gonna see later on how he comes up with some just amazing. I can't even say discoveries, but just some things that's going to take them on from being in the Stone Ages to thriving. Okay. All right. So yeah, he's super abrasive. I explore for experience and take nothing but photos. Scavenging to me is not stealing. Looting might be. Marauders need to be avoided and handled swiftly. Okay, Michaela, I can agree with that. Oh, that comment. Okay, cool. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because it all right. So I didn't get the point of it the first time you posted. Thank you. All right, power is important for security purposes, but I would not use power inside. I would use it outside to help security keep watch. I don't know about that, Tara. I don't really know, because then you're really making yourself, in my opinion, you're making yourself a huge target. Because you got to remember, post-apocalypse with grid down, any kind of lighting is going to attract everybody, because you can see that from miles away. So I would have to respectfully disagree with you on that one. Now, I agree with having power to charge things, and if you can figure out a way to charge batteries and have maybe flashlight power, but see, those kind of things you're gonna have to use very, very wisely, and you're going to have to be mindful of how much power you're using. With small things. All right, so then posted the Kev, did you find it yet? All right, they rely too much on power, in my opinion. I agree, Michael. It was like from day one, they wanted power. But then again, I really believe that. I believe it was scripted for them to be on this power thing. Because think about it, if you're in that situation, you're really trying to find things that you need right now, not things that you want, things you need. You're talking about food, you're talking about water, you're talking about shelter, you're talking about sleeping arrangements, And within 4 days they were already talking about power. I would really try to figure out me a long-term, more useful water storage. I would try to find and figure out how are we going to bathe, how are we going to wash clothes, how are we going to shower. See, that would have been more of my focus than power. But then again, I think it's kind of scripted for him to do that. All right. It's hard to pick a leader because Mike is smart and extremely useful, but his personality conflicts with the group. Yes. But Tara, the question is, if you had to pick a leader, which one of these people would you choose? And you can't answer that question and say it's hard to pick a leader. Okay, so this is what I want to know. Everybody that's watched this show, if you had to vote and pick a leader right now, who would you choose? He's a natural leader. If he could calm down, his personality would match better with others. I agree. Okay, and Michaela, I can understand why you would choose him as the leader, because the leader of the group has to be good with meshing everybody's personalities together and assigning people assignments that would best cater the group. I agree with that. That's not who I would choose, but I agree with that choice. All right. Agree completely. Mike is the most invaluable. Yes, Mike and John C are the most crucial or critical, in my opinion. Okay. I agree. But we're choosing a leader right now. Let's choose a leader. Someone needs to be in charge in various areas, like the guy screaming for them to come on when they were coming back. Yeah, from scavenging. His name is Joey. And no one listened. People doing their own thing is dangerous. I agree. And he's in my top 3 if I was going to choose a leader. He's in my top 3. Thinking more about it, I like Joy would be a good leader. Yes, Joy would be a fabulous choice. Because one thing about Joy, he is there and he's going to give it up for the group. He's going to do it for the group. I would pick the most level-headed. That's what I would choose. Not sure who that is. I think Michaela's right with as far as the doctor being the most level-headed. And his name is George, Dr. George. I think he's the most level-headed. It would be hard for me to choose John C., which is the guy who's like the smartest of the group. It would be hard for me to choose him because I need him concentrating on other things. I don't need him concentrating on leader stuff. So for me, it would be a toss-up between Joey, which is the ex-con, Dr. George, which is the doctor, and believe it or not, Mike. But I wouldn't want to take Mike off of anything he's focusing and concentrating on. So I believe it's a toss-up right now between Joey and Dr. George. Okay, that would be my choices. And if I had to choose. I would choose Joey, the ex-con. If I had to choose a leader of the group, I would choose Joey. Because everybody else, I think he would be good at assigning everybody else their task. I think he would be a good person to disseminate information. And if you needed to go out and talk to somebody, I think he's level-headed enough, but firm and direct enough to move the interests of the group more forward. That's my choice. Okay. All right. So we talked about power. Okay. Let's talk about Mike's attitude. Okay. Let's talk about Mike's attitude because he even talked about I don't have any education. I can't spell, and these other people that have titles and letters after their name, they think they're better than me, and I don't think, in my opinion. Now, of course, we didn't see all the back end stuff, but I distinctly remember in the episode when he went out to talk to them about the gasifier. He was like, "You got a bomb here, and it's going to blow up, and it's going to explode, and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, and then he turns right back around, and he's like, "I'm just going to let them fail. I know what's wrong with it, but I'm going to let them fail." And I took that as that's an extremely selfish attitude, which is another reason why he could not lead the group for me. Because he's selfish. It's all about, hey, let's sing the praises of Mike because Mike fixed the pulley on the generator to make it run, and Mike, Mike showed Morgan how to push the clutch in on the truck. He likes, and I think because he's not quote unquote that successful in life, which I mean I admire the guy, but as far as his people skills, he can never lead the group for me. Never. He's too over the top with his attitude. But he and Morgan started having conflict to the point where, and they focused on Morgan, but all of the engineers that were outside working on the gasifier, they all told him to leave. They was like, okay, leave. And I don't know if you guys caught it because I rewound it like 5 or 6 times because I wanted to hear the background because you could hear Morgan clearly. Just leave. But then all the other guys, John C. and Vladimir, they was like, yeah, go away. You could hear them in the background. So he rubbed all those guys the wrong way. But I think he focused on Morgan because when she was younger, be honest, she was black. And I think that he really took offense that a young black, in his opinion, girl was telling him what to do. And, he's like, I'm not going to help him, which I just thought that was a crazy attitude to have, especially in this situation. I have to agree with you on that. My number 1 pick was just Joey. Number 2 would be Mike, if he could learn to work better with the group. Number 3 was George. No, I got to totally disagree with you. Number 1 pick is Joey. Number 2 pick is George. Mike is like number 10, all because of his attitude. And plus, I don't think he can, be honest with you, I don't think he can focus on one thing at a time. I don't think he can. I mean, think about it. Look back at when he first met, who was that? It was Vladimir, Leilani, was it Allison, and George. When they all came, they sent him out to talk to him. Did you see his attitude? His attitude was so standoffish and, put the knife down. I mean, he rubs people the wrong way, even though I absolutely love him. I personally love the guy. But yeah, he could never lead a group for me. From my opinion, I think he decided to let them fail because they weren't listening to him. They probably do, to some extent, discount his advice because he doesn't have a degree. Well, I think they discounted his advice because he came out the wrong way, and because of the lack of people skills. I'm not even gonna say lack of education because he uses words, and I don't even really buy that lack of education. I can't spell stuff because he used words like Neanderthal. I was like, wait a minute now. For you not to have an education and you not to have a background in whatever, I mean, that's a pretty big word, to be using. And I picked up on stuff like that this time. I never really looked into him. I just thought he was big old, like he said, I'm just a big angry monkey. I just looked at him as a big angry monkey, but I think it's more to it. I think they inserted him into the group because they knew his attitude was abrasive. And it will be good for TV. You got to understand, this is good for TV too. I'm learning a lot watching it, but it's got to be good for TV because it's got to get views. And if it doesn't get views, it's not going to be good for TV. So, I think a lot of that was prompted by, again, editing and production. In sci-fi movies, where the bad guy will kill his own people who make him mad, they would end up being Mike. I agree with that too, Night Collector. Yeah, his attitude probably does have a big part in it too. Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, if you're working on a major project, because this power thing is a major project for this group, and another person comes out and they're like, "Oh, you guys got a bomb here. You got a bomb here," and they're like, "No, look, with scientific." And you gotta understand, you're dealing with scientific minds, so they think scientifically. They think on a whole different level, and so as opposed to bomb, no bomb, no, they're like, "Hey, the science says that if we heat this enough, it's going to cook this fuel, and the fuel is going to exhaust, and we should be able to light it." Now, granted, if they didn't put it together properly, it could have, some oxygen could have gotten in there. They could have had a flashback, and they could have had a bang. That's true. However, I couldn't personally, and I know some things about, well, putting joints together. I'm not gonna say anything about a gasifier, but that works just same way as plumbing. You just got to use different Teflon tape, or different tape. So when they were doing it, he was willing to walk away Think about this. He was willing to walk away and let these people kill themselves so he could be right. What does that say about somebody? Editing or no editing, production or no production, what does that say about that person's attitude toward human life with people that you're in the same boat with that are doing the same thing, which is trying to live and survive? What does that say about that person? Because think about it, he walked away. He got them to the point where they kicked him off of the set of the gasifier. So I just wanted to make that point. Mike has street smarts, which is often more important than book smarts. I agree. Mike saying they were making a bomb was technically correct. True. It was like grain dust in a grain silo. Yes. You need a valve on the end so the flame. Okay, you just mentioned. Yeah. But I just thought it was amazing that instead of him saying, "Hey guys, I'm not leaving until you look at this," I just thought it was, and you never know. He might have come back, and because of editing, we don't see that. And you just see, and you can tell he has anger issues. He already said it. He said it in episode 1. He was like, "I already got to kick cigarettes. I got to kick my coffee. Now I got to deal with all this, and I got to deal with these people." So he had already said that he was too stressed out, basically, to work with anybody. He had already said it. So I just want to bring up my friend and buddy Mike. All right, so let's talk about getting. Okay, it goes back to Mike again. Good gracious. All right, so when they were getting the generator running, because they figured the gasifier out and it started working, right? So now it's time to get the gasifier and the fuel to the pressure washer generator. Did you guys notice that Mike could fail as many times as he needed to get it right, but he was on these engineers' butts all the time about their stuff? But nobody, and we don't see it. We don't see anybody really giving him a hard time about figuring out how to get this generator to work. Did y'all notice that? So I just brought that up. All right, let's see what Tara says. Mike's thinking might have been if they don't listen to him on something that critical, he don't want them part of his group anyway. That's a good point. Not saying that's right, just that might be his thought. That's true. Like Alexa says, he's the type to get rid of in a problematic member. I can't see that because the dude is so valuable. I mean, I think his value far outweighs, and even John C. Even John C. was like, "Hey, the guy is super smart." And I look at John C. as the smartest guy in the group. He even said, he's like, "The guy is super smart. If you can get past this, his basic abrasiveness, you can work with this guy." And I agree. And he even was talking about the doctor using the Lysol, which I'm like, this is my thing. Because he even said, we should be adults enough to know that we have a finite energy, level of energy. And he let these guys use the batteries and run the batteries all the way completely down, which I agree that, what they were doing, needing shoes in that environment. Yeah, you need shoes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to figure out how you're going to get those batteries charged so these folks can make shoes, because you're walking around a factory with no shoes on. I wouldn't walk around an environment like that now unless I had steel toe boots on. And these folks would walk around with ratted shoes. But then again, he didn't speak up. And see, a leader, in my opinion, a leader would have expressed their opinion to the point. Because, like, let's say it's me, Knife Collector, and Tara, and Kev H. We're all in a group. And I see somebody doing something that's going to hurt the group eventually. I'm going to come to you and be like, "Hey, Tara, I know you're trying to make shoes for everybody right now. However, I truly believe that we should save that power in those tools for later. Let's figure out if we can get this gasifier working, and let's figure out if we can get this generator, and then you can make all the shoes you want. But until then, let's save the batteries, and maybe try to figure out a different way." You're in a factory. You can take wire cutters, bolt cutters, and cut tires. It's going to take longer. It's going to be more work. It's going to be dirtier, but you can do it that way. Y'all let me know if you agree with me or not. I mean that Mike is the type to get rid of the problematic members. So if they blow up, they be gone. Well, I mean that's something that you can, that's something you can put up to a vote. Okay, let's put it to a vote right now. How many people right now, 8 days, this is 8 days in, how many people want to get rid of Mike? I do not. That's my vote. Do not get rid of Mike. But how many people in the chat right now would want to get rid of Mike right now? Go. He didn't look at at other things in his failures, such as the alternator. Yep, he put the smaller pulley on the engine when the larger pulley was needed. Yep, it not working the first time may have been a bad connection. True. And then again, we don't know because of editing. We don't know if he did that before they got the gasifier working or after. We don't know. We don't know the time frame of the events because he might have gone through all that prior to them getting the gasifier working, and then he walked out there and he's like, dang, I thought they would have had this figured out before I got this done, and that might have would have set him off. That probably would have set me off too. There's 3 of y'all working on this. I'm one person, well, 2 people working on this over here. We got this generator working before you got the fuel. Now I just wasted a bunch of time. So we don't know, but I can agree with that. He did. All right, so here you go. Tara says the biggest part of working in a team is listening. Whether you agree with somebody or not, it's important to truly listen to what they have to say. I agree, and I don't think he listens to anybody. It's like it's on the part now where they were at dinner, and he was talking about taking that watch, and Morgan was like, "Are you going to take any hard watches?" And he just blows up, walks away, and starts cursing for something that, and I understand Mike. I really do, because I see where he's coming from. I understand the guy. In that situation, I'd probably be Mike's best friend because I understand where he's coming from. It's plus I'm a handyman, so I kind of feel him sometimes. Mike is truly the last person I get rid of. Me too, Tara. Mike is needed. Someone else just needs to be in charge. Yeah, and right now they don't have anybody in charge. I just threw that out there because I know when I first started talking about the series and the episode, somebody came in, it's like, they need a leader. They need a leader. I'm like, no, they need to figure out water. I don't like his personality, but he's the best shot at survival, in my opinion. With Joy in charge and Mike as head of mechanics, Vlad head of security. Yeah. Oh, Tara, best thought of the day right there. If Joy was in charge already, I'm talking about right now. If Joy was in charge, Vladimir was in charge of security, Mike in charge of projects. Oh, heck yeah. Yes. I think moving forward, if they had made that decision moving forward, I think they would do, because I've seen the series. So moving forward, I think they would have done a lot more faster. Just my opinion. All right. Michaela says, keep Mike around. Just don't let him take over the group. Try to keep him focused on his own project. That's where he works. That's his forte. That's his wheelhouse. That's where he is the best, when he is working on his project and keeping them busy. You got see people like that. You got to keep them busy. You got to keep them moving forward with projects, because if not, if he has time to think about it, he's like, oh, I'm doing all this and nobody else is doing anything. So if he has time to think about it, it's going to be problems, as you guys have seen. All right. All right. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay. Let's talk about how all of a sudden, and why all of a sudden they go out on one run. They go out on one scavenge run, and now they all of a sudden come back and they are ready to leave the sanctuary. Why? Why do you guys think that came up? And why do you think it came up 8 days? Because we still have, what's that? We got 70 minus 8. That's it. We got 62 more days to go, roughly, because it's a 10-week program. We got like 2 more months to go, and they're talking about leaving. Why do you think that came up? Okay, because they keep Mike around. Like Claire said, no one looked into making a people power alternate. That's good. All you need is the correct pulleys. It's like they can only see one way to do things. I never even thought about that, Night Collector. I got caught up into their project with them. I was like, all right, cool, let's get this thing running. That's not bad, though. probably wouldn't be as efficient, and you already got people who are low on calories. I don't know how feasible that would be, but it's a good alternative. I mean, it's something to look into. I just realized the best way to keep Mike under control would be to realize his talent, brag on him like crazy, make him your friend, and then get him focused on one thing. That's the way you treat people like that. You got to feed their egos. See, one thing I've been good at most of my adult life is meeting people and immediately figuring out what they need. Because remember this, guys, I've been in sales my whole life. So remember this. Everybody has a huge flashing. Hold on, let me take this down. Everybody has a huge flashing neon sign on their chest, and it says WIFM. What's in it for me? If you take that along with everything in your life for the rest of your life, you're going to be like the most expert in people, because everybody wants to feel part of something. Everybody wants to feel important, and everybody has that flashing sign. What's in it for me? Well, right now, what's in it for everybody is survival and eventually thriving. Oh, another person that we forgot about as far as being the leader of the group, Leilani. Leilani would be an excellent leader of the group. You don't get and the only reason I know it because I've watched it. I've watched this several times, but somebody who's martial art and personal training and all that kind of stuff, they're level headed. You know that. So she would be a pretty good leader too. But off the information that we have right now, those two would be my top choice, Joey and Dr. George. All right, so let's see what Tara says. They need to focus on more water. That's what I say all the time. Water, water, water. They only have a few containers set up to catch it. I would have set up a lot more of them. Now, let's talk about water. And I thought it was ingenious for Mike to come up with the water diverter system where they took the rainwater. I thought that was ingenious. The downside of that, I didn't think they set up enough containers. I didn't think they caught enough. I think, and as huge as that warehouse is, and as much stuff that they've given them, I think that they should have way more water right now. And instead of focusing on power all this time, I would have folks going down to the river, 3 people at a time. Because how much more cleaning and organizing can you do? I mean, because that's what Dr. George and Allison were doing when they discovered they needed more food. Hell, you can, with the limited resources they had, you can look at it instantly, write it down, and be like, okay, we ate 2 cans of tuna, 3 cans of beans, and we ate some tomatoes tonight. Oh yeah, now we're down to 7 days of food. It doesn't take long to do that. They could have been doing things that were more resourceful, in my opinion, like going to get more water, but they didn't. I didn't see them have more water collection. So I agree with you, Tara. They didn't have enough water. Totally agree. And that's one thing that really upset me about these folks. Yep, they focus on that in marketing class. What's in it for me? Yes, what's in it for me? Always. My only issue with Leilani is that she doesn't seem to speak up enough. Oh, but she will. Keep watching. I agree with Tara on getting as much water as possible. Yes. They have no idea how long it will be before it rains again. True. So it's vital to gather as much as possible and send groups and keep gathering each day. I totally agree. I mean, because I think they're losing sight of the basic necessities, okay, which are what? Your 3s, which are now the 4s, but we'll just keep with the 3s because now it's 4 days. But for as long as I've been taught, it was 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That in this situation, you got to be concentrating on that constantly. And even though you have other projects going, you got to be concentrating on that constantly. And if their air quality changes, which I don't see it happening in that situation, that wouldn't be really something I'd be worried about either, unless something caught on fire around us. Now your whole situation has changed, but that's not likely. But yeah, water, and I want this to be a lesson learned for us. Never get comfortable with your amount of water, because your water is, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a common sense guy. In my opinion, lack of water is going to take more people out than anything else. Lack of water, I'm going to say it again. Lack of water is going to take more people out than anything else, in my opinion. Or drinking unpurified, unsanitized water is going to take people. And that's a bad way to go right there. All right. Night Collector says, what's in it for me? Just give me the job I want and we'll be happy. I don't want to be the leader, but a leader needs to listen to his people and take advice. I agree with you, Night Collector. I totally agree. In this situation, I wouldn't want to be the leader. I would be a good one, but I wouldn't want to be it. But I would definitely be able to organize everybody. I sure would. I'd be like, okay, look, I'm looking at everything and I see we don't have enough water. I need everybody right now to go stop what you're doing and go find more containers. Go look outside and stay in groups of twos. All right. I don't and I would make it a standard rule that if you went outside of the perimeter, outside of the factory door, you have to be a minimum of 2 people, minimum, because that place is so big. You're talking about 3 acres, and 3 acres that you can't see. You can have folks getting snatched and kidnapped out there left and right if they went outside by themselves. So that would be a mandatory rule right there, and I'm pretty sure they made that. So far, they aren't using their people effectively. I agree. They have over half the group just organizing, looking around. True. Make those people do something useful. Yeah, like go to the river and get water. Oh, goodness. Tahanga, you're late to the party. Plant fruit trees. Okay. Yes, I agree. But we're talking about the colony right now. And I wouldn't want to be the leader, but I love to be in the second in command. I'm a good listener and work well in small groups, but don't like being in the center of attention. Okay, so now that we have narrowed down our leader, who would you like to see second in charge? Because see, I would like to see if I was in charge, I would want to have somebody second in charge so everybody can go to that person. Because I'm going to be inside the group working too. All right, I don't think the leader just going to sit on their throne all day. I think the leader needs to be involved. Oh, but we totally got off track of topic, y'all. Why did they all of a sudden start thinking about leaving? Is that part of the show? You got to figure out how you're gonna get out of there, because if that's the case, see, we didn't have that information in the beginning, so maybe that's part of the agreement. Okay, guys, we're gonna stick you in this situation. We're gonna put you at this this factory in this compound. You're gonna have to do everything yourself, and then you got to figure out how you're gonna get out of there. That's probably the way it went down. And that's probably been in the back of their minds the whole time. And I'm pretty sure with all this power stuff and all this other resource and everything, I'm pretty sure that was part of their agreement. You guys got to figure out food. You got to figure out water. You got to figure out alternate power. You got to figure out an exodus. I'm pretty sure that's part of their contract. Okay, because this soon into this scenario, I just thought it was too quick to be talking about leaving. Joey as leader. And second would be whomever Joey picked, because it needs to be whomever he trusts and works well with. Okay. But looking from the outside in, who do you think that would be? Because I don't see Joey being too close with anybody right now. I think Joey can work with everybody. I want to be in a leadership mode in the skills I do best. I don't like being bossed around. All right, so we're gonna put Michaela out the group already. I'm just joking. Me too. I don't mind taking advice, but I absolutely detest taking orders. And I think a good leader doesn't give orders. I think a good leader makes critical suggestions. So, for example, let's say if we were in the colony and Tara was in charge of water, since she mentioned it. I'd be like, hey, Tara, I've been looking at our water stores, and I really would like to see us we have 9 days right now. I would really like you to figure out a way where we can double 9 and have 18 days of water stores at all times. Can you do that? And I think that's a less threatening suggestion, but it's a strong suggestion. And this is in addition to you doing everything else that we're doing around here, in addition to. And since you're in charge of water, I also want you to figure out where we can have showers. Can you figure that out? Okay. Are you the person for that job? And I would have that kind of conversation with people. And if I went to Michaela, let's say Michaela was good at, I don't know. Let's say Michaela was good like Mike. Hey, Michaela, this power thing. The whole group, the whole entire group wants power. Is this going to be a project that's going to take you 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 hours? Can you give me a time frame of how long you think it's going to be? And then I want you to estimate at least 2 more days on top of that. Because I know for a fact if Michaela is working on something, I cannot pull her off of something that's going to be that critical for the group. In my opinion, they pulled too many people that were critical to the entire group on this power thing, and nobody spoke up and was like, "Hey, we need to do such and such and such and such." And then when they finally brought it up at dinner, which was soap and toilet paper, that's when Mike blew up. Okay, so absolutely, I want to be told, "Hey, Terrell, would you mind taking on the group and get water?" Not something like, "Terrell, go get water now." Nope. Yeah, exactly. Or better yet, be like, "Hey, look, Knife Collector and Roderick and John C are working on power. Can we have some volunteers to go down to the river and get 1,800 more gallons of water?" Well, I'm the only one here, so I guess I better volunteer. Something like that. Yeah, you can't. The days of telling people what to do, long over. This is where people need to be in charge in various areas. I agree, Knife Collector, and I think that's where they're missing the boat a little bit, because you got a whole bunch of Indians being chiefs, because everybody's in charge of every project, and then you got several people sitting around like Leilani, Dr. George, Allison, and this other girl. I don't even know if she's on the show. Amy. Has anybody seen Amy this week? Amy's the one that has a little southern drawl. Has anybody seen Amy at all this week? Amy is like, I think she came in on season 1, episode 1, and I think she took a whole week off, because I haven't seen Amy in this episode at all. And for those that don't realize, she's the one that's the marine biologist. Okay, which you would think that she would have been the one that was in charge of water. Correct me if I'm wrong. Marine biologist. I mean, that's like study of life in water. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong or not. Is that right? Is that correct? You'll be the good scavenger, so you will be a good looter. I'm just messing with you, Michaela. But in this scenario, like they even said, nobody owns it after Grid Down, after SHTF, nobody owns anything. And that's just the way it's going to be. That's going to be the new life. That's just the way it's going to be. I don't even know. Oh, I didn't even know there was an Amy. Okay, so you got 10 people. In this episode, you've seen everybody. You've seen Mike. Okay, everybody knows Mike. You've seen John C., which is he's going bald right here, a little short guy. You've seen Morgan. Everybody knows Morgan. She's a little black girl. You've seen John V. He's like the Puerto Rican Spanish heritage guy. You've seen Dr. George. You've seen Allison. She's the blonde-haired chick. You've seen Vladimir, because he was going to shoot somebody. And you've seen Joey, right? Joey was the one swinging the stick around, the one we said we would make him the leader. Where in the heck is Amy? Where is Amy? Have not seen her. And I'm looking at a group picture right now when they're starting up the generator. I don't even see Amy in this scene. Where the heck is Amy at? So y'all forgot all about Amy. Amy's nowhere to be found. Oh, right, her. Food is where it's at. Yeah, food and water. Because you can do what I like. I used to want to be a marine biologist. I don't even know what that is. See, I'm like Mike. I don't even know what that word is, Tara. But correct me if I'm wrong. doesn't marine stands for water, and biologist that mean the study of life. So she's really the study of life in water, right? But her job in the secular world, in the outside world, deals with water. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do y'all agree with that? Where the heck is she? Okay. Well, okay, cool. Marine mammals, yes. All right. But my point is, she studies water. She studies water. Her job is water. I don't even know where the chick is at. But and maybe they feel they got enough water. But see, me at this point in time, a weekend, I want to. I mean, 8 days into this scenario, I want to be able to take a shower. Think about it. These people stink. They haven't bathed in over a week. They've been wearing the same grungy clothes, except they were able to wash themselves when it rained, which was what, day three, something like that. So here it is. It's been like 3 4 days that they haven't bathed. They stink. See, to me, that would be important. Being able to clean myself, being able to drink water every day, being able to eat food every other day, every 3 days. I'm good with that. But to be able to bathe, that is a creature comfort that would be more important to me than power. I may be wrong in that. Having toilet paper would be more important to that than having power to me. I just felt like they kind of put the cart before the horse. Okay, marine is saltwater technically. Yeah, but she still would have to know some information about freshwater. You have to know how to distill water, purify water. I mean, she deals with water in her life, and maybe she didn't. Maybe that's why she didn't chime in, and maybe she just started being a marine biologist. I don't know, but I didn't see that, and I'm watching this thing again. I'm looking for Amy. Amy's not in any scene. I guess she got sick that week and she had to come off the show. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to seeing episode 3 to see if she even shows up in episode 3. I just don't know where she is, to be honest with you. Yes, sanitation is vital to prevent prevent illness. Yes, very, very, very true. Maybe she's cleaning the toilets. Maybe that's what they like. Hey, Amy, you're not good at anything else. Can you just clean the bathroom? Can you do that? Maybe that's what they have her doing. I don't know. All right, so let's go through everything I had written down. All right, power. We've killed that one. Power. Oh, did you guys know that the gasifier need to heat up to 451 degrees in order to produce wood gas? I had no idea, no clue. But that's the temperature that they needed to get that wood up to in order to produce wood gas. 451 degrees. Now, once they got it there and they were able to light it, they were able to hook it up to the power. I keep wanting to put them that way. I don't want to put them away. They had to take it and then run it and hook it up to the pressure washer. And I thought that was amazing. When they finally got that thing going, I was like, wow, that was incredible to me. Did anybody else think that was amazing? Or did y'all just know they were going to figure it out? Because I didn't know if they were going to figure it out or not. I really didn't. All right, so we talked about Mike's attitude. We talked about the scavenge run, which have we all agreed that scavenging and looting and taking and turning from somebody else is really stealing? Have we talked? Did we agree with that or not? Is it really stealing when you need it? Post grid now? Is it really stealing if you want it? If it's post grid down, and if it happens to you, do you have a right to be upset about somebody coming and taking from you when grid is down? Where's your moral compass? When does your moral compass run out? When do we get to the point where, oh, hold on, here's a scene where they're all in this scene where they're doing the gasifier. Let me see if I can find Amy anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so she is actually in this scene right here. When they're hooking up the gasifier to the generator, she is actually in the scene. I'm gonna show you guys her. She is this person right here. Okay, that's the first time. That's the first and only time I've seen Amy in this episode. There she is, right there. She's in the background cheering as it gets gets to working. All right. That's the first and only time I've seen her in this episode. All right, let's see here. What did you say? Yes, sanitation. Okay, so the question on the floor now is about looting and stealing. If it's abandoned, it's not stealing. It's just taken. Okay, if it's abandoned, I agree. But if you know somebody is using it, or you know that's somebody's place or where they reside, then what is it called? Is it just called I need it? It's still, of course. If you know someone else owns it, if it were me, I'd try to bring owners of stuff. I bring owners of stuff. I need it into the group rather than just taking their stuff. That's a good point. Yeah, I just thought it was amazing that they didn't even try to work with these quote unquote marauders, because I feel it's best to work together. Okay, in my opinion. What was a good idea? I'm lost, Michaela. What was a good idea? Please clarify. Oh, okay. As far as what Tara said, just try to bring. Yeah, I mean, I found it amazing that they didn't try to work with these folks. I was like, wow, y'all just, people will come banging on the door and stuff. And well, not that granted, you came and banged on the door in the middle of the night, and scared everybody. So, but I mean, they were doing their job. Unless they were obviously a terrible person, then I'd have fewer qualms about taking just what I needed. Okay. Think about your close friends in the SHTF. They want to survive as much as you do. And if they have small ones to feed, you are a target. Yeah, and that's from people who are close to you. If someone owns it, it would definitely be stealing. Okay, I can agree with all that. Now we're gonna let's make sure we got all the notes I have written down. Okay, we talked about y'all still haven't answered the question of why did they talk about leaving so soon? Nobody has given me an answer to that, and I still don't know why. I think it's part of their contract, honestly, because you got the sanctuary right there. I wouldn't be trying to go anywhere. And that's me. I'm like, we're gonna secure this place up, and we're gonna make this a fortress in Fort Knox, and even if we get attacked. And for those that don't know, that's the reason why we didn't have the Colony season 3 is because one of the marauders got killed by one of the volunteers during one of the scenarios, and they canceled the show because of that. That's how serious these people, when they get into, and when we get to season 2, those people, they go crazy. Okay, they are that serious about surviving that literally, I know for a fact, one guy literally loses his mind. I know that for a fact. All right, so talked about Morgan versus Mike. We talked about Mike Cafel's many times. Okay, cool. I think we talked about everything I had on my list. All right, let's see. That's why I've been stocking up on a crap load of seeds. Since I live in an apartment community, I have plants to plant the huge field behind the nearest church with food for everyone. That is very admirable, and I think that people who see the future after SHTF and see communities like that, I think that's where people are going to thrive, because it's going to be in rebuilding the community. Because it's going to be, I think if anything happens, I believe that everybody's going to be like me, my, and I think that's going to last. If you can get past the first 90 days of all of that, 90 to 100 days, 180 days. I think if you can survive the first 180 days, I think you got a really good chance of thriving. I really truly believe the first 90 days are going to be the hardest. I think day 91 to 180 is going to be less hard because you're going to be in a routine. And I think past that, I think people are just going to set up communities and thrive. I really believe that. If I can take care of community, they will take care of me. Hopefully. I was going to put a hopefully at the end of that. Yes, hopefully. If a group does not become cohesive, they will turn on each other and threaten to leave. And I can see that. I mean, okay, let's take this group right here. When we first started this like 3-4 weeks ago, when we talked about prepping, having preps in your vehicle, that was the first time we did the Saturday morning. And then I was like, hey, let's do this. Let's do the Colony season 1, episode 1. Last week were a heck of a lot more people here than this week. Do y'all agree with that? Last week, I don't have the numbers. I didn't look up the numbers because I thought it would be just as many people. And I'm gonna quit saying I'm gonna give you guys a test. We're just having a discussion about about what we learned, what we saw. And I had somebody was in here last week and they were really arrogant because they was like, oh, I didn't learn anything because I wouldn't be in that situation. Do y'all remember that person? And I'm like, you got to be able to learn from every situation. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I just thought it was amazing that we had somebody in here with that kind of attitude. And I think that attitude is going to be having that kind of attitude where I know everything and, I wouldn't be in that situation anymore. I wouldn't put myself in that situation. You never know what kind of situation you're going to find yourself in. You never know. And furthermore, saying that I knew all that stuff already. And anyway, I got on my soapbox for a minute. All right. But back to people leaving. Yeah, I got mixed emotions about people leaving, because it's a free world, and if you think you can do better outside, then do that. But you couldn't leave the group and then stay in the same place. You wouldn't be able, with me, you wouldn't be able to do that. It's either we're gonna be together or we're gonna be apart. My opinion. Sometimes you can find things that can be considered a blessing to your group that you can take and use with good conscience. Okay, I can see that. I really wish we could all move close to each other because I trust y'all and I don't trust many people in at all. You know what, Tara? I agree. And I was hoping when I started this channel, I was really hoping that we can get together and I'll be able to, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I felt alone. I felt like I was crazy. Pride. I'm talking about Pride of July. Me starting this channel. I felt alone. I felt crazy. I was like, and even Jennifer would tell me sometimes, she's like, you done lost it. You really have lost it. And since I have met you guys, and since we have started this channel, and since we talk all the time and chat all the time and all that good stuff, I do want to start. I don't really have a lot of time to be talking on the phone and chatting and stuff like that, but I really would like for us to exchange phone numbers at least and text each other from time to time. I would really love for that to happen. Kind of like me and Christina. Me and Christina are buddies. Hey, Christina. Oh, goodness. Knife Collector says, one thing I have said for years, the technology we have should be used to transition back to an earlier time. Learn farming, medicine, blacksmithing, building, etc., like they did in the 1800s. Knife Collector, you couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it better. And that is an awesome statement. And I know where I'm weak, and I have recognized and realized, if through you guys' help, we're weak in medical. I'm weak in fabricating and metalworking. What's it called? Metallurgy. I'm weak in that area. I mean, I can do it, but it takes me a long time to do that kind of stuff. Pretty good builder, okay. And with anything, it's always practice makes perfect, or practice makes better, okay. Okay, it says, Tara, I also live in a duplex, but with a large unused field next to me, that will become a huge garden. Yeah. Where we live across the street from a school, and we're like, man, that would be an awesome community garden. Funny story, about 3 years ago, there's a plot of land that's on my street, and I had been looking at it for like 2 years, and I was like, man, I really want this land right here. And it had a you know how when the lawn gets overgrown, the city would come by and post a notice. Well, I was coming home one day and this guy was out there cutting the grass. And I asked him, I said, hey man, do you own this? He's like, yeah. I was like, I really want it. I was like, I'm willing to buy it, lease it, rent it, or whatever. He's like, what you want to do with it? I said, I want to make a community garden. He's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, I just want access to the property. It's a really nice property. Just got some trees on it, need to be cut down, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah. And it's right literally across the street from the school. And I was like, I got this idea, I want to fence it in, and then I want to name it this, and I want to be able to, bring the kids over and teach them how to garden and how to grow food. And all that. He's like, for real, yeah, blah, blah. He sounded like he was all for it. So I talked to him, well, actually I talked to him that day, and then he gave me a phone number to call, kind of find out he didn't really own it. His sister owned it. And he was like, oh yeah, man, we'll work up somewhere. You can lease it, but we won't charge you. And we can do like a 10-year agreement. I was like, man, that's awesome. So some kind of way, from us having that conversation to him actually doing something, it fell through. And you know, I was thankful that it did, because at the time I was really motivated about that. But then I looked at it, I was like, you know, that was probably God's way of saying, and I, you know, that you didn't really need to do that right now, because I really started focusing on my garden in my own yard, and then we made the decision that we're going to leave. So it kind of worked out best for us. Hello, Voodoo Kitchen Mama. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, y'all are speaking. Hi, Tara. Hi, everyone. I think we would have a really strong community if we could do that. Tara, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Let's see. Christina, I would have stolen gas from those bikers for the generator. We've been talking about stealing all morning. All these good folks talking about stealing. Have some nails on the road. Ooh, you know what? They do have enough things in that factory that I'm sure they could rush them some tires. I'm pretty sure that's what we been doing. Knife collecting, learning as many skills as possible so I can do as much as needed. But you can't do everything. That's the only thing about it. You can't do everything. I have a tractor and a small farm at. Really, how big is your farm or farm at? How big is it, Voodoo Kitchen Mama? That is what we're trying to do. I'm trying to buy some land so we can have a little, you know, couple 2 or 3 acres. And even if it's just an acre, you can do so much with an acre. It's ridiculous. And I don't understand. They got these two goats, and they were already talking about eating the goats. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, I'd be afraid to make enemies of the bikers, Christina. I'd be more likely to try to make friends with them and prove that's where I'm at. I would have been trying to be like, we're gonna put our weapons down. We outnumber you guys by, what is it, 6-1? Well, 6-2. So would y'all come over here and talk to us? You know, because remember, people on the outside of your camp have way more knowledge about the surrounding area than you do. These guys are on bikes. They know what's around there. So if they could have some kind of way, and I'm sure it was against the rules, I would have done the same thing, Tara. I would have been trying to figure out a way to talk to these guys, be like, hey, what's around us? You know, I know we got the river back here. Have you seen any natural resources? Have you seen any fruit trees? Have you seen any more livestock? What have you seen? What's around? Because that information right there is extremely valuable. Extremely, extremely. All right, guys, we are, good Lord, we're coming up on an hour and a half. Can't make friends with the devil. Hello, Miss Grace. I didn't even see Miss Grace come in. Can't make friends with the devil. Oh my God, the goats. Why would they want to eat goats that could make milk calories for long term? I don't know, Tara. That's the first thing. I mean, I'm sitting here watching. That's the first thing Joey was like, yeah, those goats are cute and everything, but I see meat. Anyway, don't get me talking about meat. Hi, Christina, Night Collector, Tara, and Homestead Homies. What's up, Miss Grace? You can't eat your breeding stock. You sure can't. You cannot. No, you cannot do it. And look at it down the road. I mean, if this is a long-term scenario and you found 2 goats, one is a mama, obviously the other one's a baby. Now you need this one more. Now you can start producing goats, long-term goats. I mean, you know, I think we missed the boat a lot of times because we fall for that. Our belly. I was about to say some adjectives, but we listen to our belly more than we listen to our minds. Christina, but sometimes people who seem like the devil might just be trying to survive like we are. Christina, did you watch this episode? Because we talked about earlier how the volunteers are, in my opinion, a lot of the times the marauders. So if you were out there living in that tent and they came and stole your 2 goats and your food, who would you think they are? Would you call them good survivors or would you call them marauders? Because see, on the other side, our volunteers, for the people on the outside, they're breaking into their camp, taking their stuff. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's a winner and there's a loser. If they wanted to collaborate, They wouldn't be driving like that into your area. But see, in this scene, they actually went out into their area. They went out into the bikers area. So different perspective. I have to leave in a few minutes. Have an appointment for a car dealership. All right, don't get ripped off if you're going to buy a car. Haggle, haggle, haggle. Knife collector. Thank you for being here. I prefer milk myself. But even the Marauders could potentially be turned into part of a group if they could show them why it would benefit them. Yeah, I agree. I think it's way better to have friends than to have enemies. I mean, because keep your friends keep your friends close, keep your enemies close, keep your friends close, or something like that. Is that the right statement? Keep your enemies close, keep your friends close. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. So I don't know. I really try to find win-win situations. In every situation I'm in, I really try to find a win-win situation. And in that situation, Michaela, I would have to drink some of that goat's milk, to get some of that natural animal protein and whatever it provides. So yeah, I agree with that. I definitely wouldn't butcher and kill the goats. If I found a chicken, I wouldn't butcher and kill the chicken. I'd wait until the chicken started laying eggs. And in order to do that, you got to feed the chicken some protein. Protein produces eggs, and the chicken will start laying. Just the way it is. It's the way it works. But even the Marauders could potentially. Oh yeah. Join the group. All right, guys. Yeah. Any more questions, comments, concerns about The Colony Season 1, Episode 2? So our homework for this week is The Colony Season 1, Episode 3. I got a little time. I'm probably gonna start that today, so I can't remember what happens, but I'm probably gonna start that today and see what happens because I'm really excited about seeing the next step. If you think about it, making friends with people brave enough to go Marauder might be smart, and it would keep them from attacking you over and over. I think it almost kind of works like, in this case, if you guys watch Walking Dead, you know how Negan and his crew were basically the Marauders. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My opinion about Rick and that crew, it changed after about season 3. And I was like, you know what? They got us watching Rick and the crew, but they're really not great people. I mean, because they had gotten to the point where they were, in my opinion, they were the Marauders. And I know after post-apocalypse, that's the way you got to be. It just is what it is. All right, so making friends would be brave. I don't trust Marauders. Michaela, you're the Marauder. You're the Marauder. You just went into somebody's camp and you stole their goats. You are the Marauder. Okay? If you can get along, then do it. But you cannot ignore how dangerous people really are. You have to protect the group you have. I agree. That's what they say, that it's best to what is it? How does that saying go? It's the devil that you know, as opposed to the devil you don't know, or something like that. I wouldn't trust them either, but it would be a choice between making friends or killing them, because if they stole from you once and it was easy, they do it again and again. True. The enemy of my friend is my friend. Yes, Voodoo Kitchen Mama. Voodoo Kitchen Mama, how many acres do you have? You didn't ever tell me. They will steal everything you have, even your daughter, and put bullets in your head in those days. That's true too, Christina. Became a big smile because I called you Marauder. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies close. Okay, I knew it was one of them. Tara, exactly. Let's go back to that point Tara said. What did she say? Was it this one? Keep your friends close, keep your enemy closer, or was it this one? I wouldn't trust them either, but it would be a choice between, yeah, I mean, and I don't think 8 days into it, I don't think anybody's ready to off somebody. I don't think so. Tara, exactly. Well, I'm off. Chores to do. Enjoy your day. You too, Voodoo Kitchen Mama. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. All right, guys. That concludes our review of The Colony Season 1, Episode 2. Remember this week to watch The Colony Season 1, Episode 3. And we will be back in here next Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and we will be doing a review of The Colony Season 1, Episode 3. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you just happen to come across this channel and you watch this is your time to chime in and to subscribe, to like, and make your comments. And if you're really feeling froggy and you think somebody's really going to enjoy this dialogue between us, then share it with somebody. Share it in your groups. And thank you guys so much. We're going to be doing the giveaway today, but I'm going to have to put it off until tonight. I didn't realize that we have a show that we're going to this evening. So at the same time that we normally do our sad show or the Jennifer show, we will be at a play. And because of that, we're not going to be able to do it. So I rescheduled the show until 10 o'clock tonight. So I apologize, guys, but I want to do this giveaway today. I am very, very thankful and happy for all of you guys that saw the video and commented. And if you're one of those people who have not seen, you need to go back through my videos and find the 500. When we made the 500, okay, that video that says we made 500, whatever. Then just make a comment, and that is going to enter you into the drawing and into the contest. So tonight, we will be doing that live. We're going to be doing the giveaway live tonight. And it's going to start at 10:05 Eastern. Okay, so for my Texas folks, 9:05, and for my West Coast people, what's that? 7:05, I think. This is really fun and educational. I love this series. Me too. And when we get finished with this one, I think what we're going to do, Tara, I think we'll go through season 1, and then we're going to take a break and we'll do American Blackout, because I love that one. Because that's a movie. It's like an hour and a half long. So we'll do American Blackout, and we may even do 2 weeks of that. You know, watch it 1 week, review it, and then watch it the second week and review it. Because you always see things the second time around that you didn't see the first time. I think we're going to do that, and then we'll go back into The Colony Season 2. And trust me, there are so many movies and TV series that we can review. We can do this as long as the grid is up. And I really enjoy this too. Thank y'all. My husband is on a 24-hour shift, so I'll be there. Yes. All right, Tara. I'm glad you'll be there. Okay, guys, make sure you come see us tonight for the giveaway. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about our 1,000 subscriber giveaway too. Jericho. I was thinking about Jericho. Jericho probably will be our second. I love Jericho. I just wish they made more seasons. Yeah, we're gonna definitely do. Once we get finished with the Colony, Jericho is gonna be the next one, because I love Jericho. Love it. There's a lot to analyze. I know Jericho. We'll probably it's so crucial. We'll probably have to do two weeks per episode, because Jericho it has so many moving parts. Oh God, it has so many people in it. And then I'm thinking about the 1 Second After series, that book. We can go through one chapter at a time, because that thing will tear you apart right there. You haven't seen it? Michaela. They got American Blackout, and they have the UK Blackout. American Blackout is much better in my opinion. It's in my playlist. So if you go to my channel and you click on the playlist, you'll see it. It's right there, American Blackout. Click it, watch it. But make sure you watch The Colony Season 1, Episode 3 this week. And you still got to catch the live tonight. And you got to catch the live on Monday night. Okay, so Monday night at 7 o'clock for the Let's Talk Live show, I'm going to have my children on. Y'all do not want to miss this. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to miss this, because there's no telling what's going to happen. And on my other channel, my daughter and I, when she was younger, we used to do the daddy-daughter show. There's no telling what's going to happen on this show. This should be very comical. Okay. Love that book. Tara. I was at work. I was riding around in my work truck when they killed the dog, and when Jennifer died. You talking about? I cried like it was one of my dogs. And when that girl died in that book, I cried. There was 2 times that I cried uncontrollably. I didn't read the book. I listened to it. It's on YouTube too. So that's another thing that we can do. I cried uncontrollably. Like I was literally in the story, like I was the father of that child, like I was the owner of that dog. I literally cried. I'm talking about bawled. It is such a good book. Yes. She said the dog. Oh my God. Yeah, I was in tears. It had me in so much tears. I was just crying. Like I was crying. I was crying. I think I cried more about the dog than I did about Jennifer. Um, I cried about Jennifer, but I really cried about that big gum dog. Oh my goodness. That hurt me so bad right there. But yeah, that there we can do this. We can do this almost forever. We really could. That's what I, that's what I did with Jennifer, with my wife Jennifer. That's what I did. I called. I was like, "Baby," she was like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "Jennifer died." Oh my goodness. So yeah, we can. All right. So I think what we'll do when we get finished with season one, we'll go and do American Blackout, and I can watch that over and over again. That's why it's one of the. And then I have like 5 or 6 movies on a playlist that I do recommend watching. So we'll do that, and then we can come back and do season 2. And after season 2, we can do Jericho. We can we can always take a break in the middle of Jericho and do 3 seconds after. Oh, no, 1 second after. Oh my God! But y'all you better have your tissue for 1 second after. That's all I can tell you. You better have your tissue. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And if we ever have a scenario where agree it down and we can get together, remember, I am your leader. I am the guy. Am I joking? No, I'll be a great leader. Yeah, and I can turn it on too. I can do no nonsense too. But one thing about it, I'm gonna keep you laughing. But if you guys stress me out, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put you out the group. Tara, you stressing me out with your little doodling. I need you, instead of doodling, I need you to go get some water. Okay? You stressing me out. I'm gonna put you out the group. You need to grow some corn. All right, y'all. We out of here. Thank y'all.